Okay. All right. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. I would just like to introduce myself before we proceed with what we have this afternoon. My name is Otonio Moni. I'm the managing partner of Elite Accounting Professional Service. And the major reason why we want to organize or carry out this free Ican orientation section is basically because of students who are preparing for ICANN exam. If you're an accounting graduate, a non-accounting graduate, and you want to start your ICANN journey, how do you go about it? Because we've gotten a lot of questions from students. How do I do this? What do I need to do? How do I go about the registration process and thereafter? So in order for us just to have a section where we can intimate everyone about ICANN and everything that it entails. That's the purpose why we want to do some little preamble on it. So basically, it's just for you to ask questions, but before then, before you ask your question or anything on ICANN, I would just like to do one or two introduction about ICANN itself and every other thing that you need to know before you ask your question. So it's mainly for question and answer section. That's the purpose why we are here this afternoon, mainly for question and answer section about ICANN. And aside that, it is also for us to know more about our ICANN online lectures. We organize ICANN online lectures at Elite Accounting Professional. So you can also ask questions relating to our online lectures if you are interested in joining us. So you can drop your question in the chat box because I have muted everyone so that we can have a well-decorated class. So I will just share my screen. Please confirm you can all see my screen here. Kindly confirm you can see my screen. Can everyone see my screen, please? You can see my screen, just drop a message in the chat box. Yes, okay, thank you very much. So just going to what we have this afternoon. So all right, so we'll be looking at about ICANN, eligibility for ICANN examination, what are the requirements of becoming an ICANN student, and also how do you register to become a member, and then examination structure, and then into the exam. So these are the things we'll be looking at very quickly. So I'll just do a brief introduction of what ICANN is. So I want to presume that there are some of us here who, you are just hearing about ICANN for the first time. Or maybe you've been seeing people writing the exam, or people becoming chartered accountant, and you've been wondering, oh, what is this chartered accountant profession? What is it all about? Self? I want to even know more about it. So that's the essence of this few information about ICANN. So ICANN is the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria is a Nigerian professional accounting body saddled with the responsibility of, number one, there are different reasons. Number one of them is to regulate and improve the ethical standard about the profession. So the body is established to regulate the ethical standard about the profession and also to improve the technical know-how of the public interest. And currently speaking, ICANN has over 38,000 members, more than that. Some of them public accountants working in different sectors, different places where you want to be. So there are so many reasons why the institute is established. But if you want to know more about them, you can just Google them online. You are going to see a lot of reasons why the body is established. But one thing is they are the one regulating accounting practices in Nigeria. Anything that has to do with accounting practices in Nigeria, is being regulated by Ican. Aside Ican, we also have other professional bodies in Nigeria that also regulate other sectors. For instance, ANAN. I'm very sure some of us will know about ANAN. They are the one in charge of civil servants, accountants in the public sector. Those are the body in charge of their own regulation. ICAN mostly is for the private sector. And the institute was established in 1965, September 1st, 1965. That was when the institute was established. So that is basically that about the ICAN as a body. So who is eligible for ICAN certificate? So you've been wondering, oh, is it that if I'm not an accounting student, can I also become a chartered accountant? Yes, the body has made it very, very easy for everyone to get this certificate. So irrespective of the fact that you are an accounting graduate or not, you can get the certificate. So everybody is eligible for ICAN exam, irrespective of the discipline you are coming from, whether you are from science background, law, anything. In as much as you have the necessary qualification, you are eligible to get ICAN certificate. But before you can become an ICAN member, there are certain qualifications you must have. Number one is your degree certificate. So you are either coming with your degree in accounting or any other discipline. You're either coming in your degree in accounting or any other discipline. So, but much more preference is given to accounting students because it's an accounting body. So those people who are coming with an accounting certificate, they have certain privileges that other professions do not have. So if you are coming from, let's say you are coming from science, chemistry, biology, economics, there are certain, you are expected to start from the very beginning. We'll talk about that as we proceed in the class. Apart from your degree certificate, if you don't have your degree certificate, so let's say, for instance, for one reason or the other, you are not privileged to, get a degree, but you have your O-level certificate. ICAN has also provided an opportunity for you to become chartered by starting from AAT level. So AAT is organized by Association of Accounting Bodies of West Africa, that is abuja. It's a body with ICAN also, but they are the one regulating AAT, that is ATS. So if you have your O-level certificate and you want to also begin your ICAN journey, you can start with your O-level certificate. You are going to start from AAT, that we call it ATS1. You start from ATS1, 3 levels, ATS1, 2, 3. Once you become chartered, or once you get your AAT certificate, you can now use that AAT certificate to proceed to the advanced level of writing ICAN exam. So with your O-level certificate, you can start your ICAN journey. With your degree certificate, you can also start your ICAN journey. So those are the people who are eligible for ICAN certification. Then what are the requirements? So like I said, the requirement is, number one, either you have your AAT certificate, that is after passing through the ATS level, you have your AAT certificate, or you have your university or higher national diploma in any polytechnic in Nigeria. So if you have these two qualifications, you can start as a professional member. And then aside from these two, there are other certification that has been approved by the council that can also be used to start ICAN. So it's not everybody that is starting ICAN with degree certificates. You can also start with, if you have there are some professional bodies, well-recognized professional bodies, that if you have their certificate, you can also use it to start ICAN. For instance, if you have ACCA, if you have CIMA, if you have CFA, if you have CITN, there are some professional qualification also that the governing council of the institute that has been approved by them, that if you have this qualification, if you have MSc, there are some MSc degree that you are going to have that you can also use to start. So any other qualification that has been approved by the institute can also be used to begin your ICAN journey. So, but before I go into that, I would just quickly like to talk about our Ican online section. So a lot of people have been asking, oh, how do I start? How do I join your online section? I want to join class. I'm not privileged to attend a physical lesson based on my tight schedule, my busy work and the likes. I want to tell you that there is an online platform for you where you can begin your Ican journey. We've been running this session, we've been running this lecture for 4 diets now, and this will be our 5th diet. And I can tell you that we've recorded massive success rate, massive pass rate from our students. So it's an online section where we take you through the process of passing your exam at one sitting. And our classes are not just a class where we are going to give you video and then we'll ask you to go and read that video. No, our classes is not a class where we'll just give you video and that is all. No, we organize live classes week in, week out. Live classes every weekend. And not only that, we organize live classes for students, all our classes are recorded. So that means even after you attend the live class, the recorded version of that live class will be sent to all registered students. So that means if we attend the live class and then later on you want to go back and revise, you can always go back to the recorded video that was sent to you. And the beautiful thing is that these videos are downloadable. You can download this video offline such that you don't need to have data on your phone before you can access it. And all our classes are very, very affordable. There are classes that you can, it will save you a whole lot of stress, a whole lot of you jumping here and there. And aside that, we have top-notch tutors. Our tutors are very, very experienced in the field. So if you are looking for a center where maybe due to your busy schedule, you are not able to read and the likes, you are looking for a place where you can start lectures, I tell you, Elite Accounting Professional is the best place to attend, lectures because number one, you are going to get a conducive learning environment. Number two, you get free recorded video aside the live classes that we do every weekend. Our fees are very, very affordable. We have top-notch tutors. And our payment plan is also very, very flexible. The class is starting next week, July 6th, by the special grace of God. We are kickstarting the lecture for November Diet 2024. So I don't want you guys to miss any of this section. I don't want you to miss any of these classes. Students have already started registering. A lot of people have been registering for the courses that they want to, they want to take for November Diet. So if you are here, you are still thinking, you are still looking for where you can take lectures, please and please, this is the best place to be. I can guarantee you that if you are ready to put in the effort, because it's not really about where you actually attend lecture, whether physical or online. If you do not put in the necessary effort, if you're not putting your best to study, the results will always be the same. So but in this place, we are going to give you the skills that you need to pass your exam. We'll give you the strategy that you need, because Ican is not like your school exam that you write and then you just feel that you've done. There are skills needed to pass Ican exam. There is a way you need to put down your answers. All of these things will be given to you once you are able to join us. And our timetable is also out. This is our timetable. We have our classes structured, and all of these classes that you can see here, they are all recorded. They are all recorded. You can see the timetable on the screen. We have our classes Saturdays. We also have our class on Sunday. If you have any question relating to this, you can drop them in the chat box, or immediately we'll finish this section, you can ask your question. So let me just proceed to the other thing. So how do you register for Ican students? So if let's say you don't have student registration number and you want to first of all become a student, because before you can even do anything on Ican, you must be a registered student member. So how do you go about it? Very, very simple. I think the fee has been increased. The fee is now 10,000 naira. So you can go to any commercial bank in Nigeria. Just when you get to the teller, tell the teller that you want to pay for Ican student registration. So you make your necessary payment of 10,000 naira plus bank charges. So once you do that, you give it to the teller attending to you. The teller is going to process your payment and then issue you an e-transact receipt. Once you get that e-transact receipt, there is a website on that e-transact receipt. Go to your laptop or your smartphone, click on that website, and then it will ask you to input your login details. That e-transact receipt contains all your login details. So just input it, and then you fill in the form. A form will be generated for you. Fill in the form, upload your document. There are some documents you need to upload. Number one, you upload your degree certificate or your AAT certificate. Then you upload your WAEC results, your NYSC certificate, your birth certificate. These are the major documents that you need to upload. So once you upload these certificates, you will submit. It takes at least 2 to 3 weeks before Ican will get back to you. So once they get back to you, if your certificate is verified and everything is confirmed, your registration number will be given to you. Once your registration number has been given to you, then you move to the next level. Either you move to foundation level or you move to skills level. For those of us that are coming in with accounting degree, either from a polytechnic or from university, as long as that university or polytechnic is accredited. If you are coming with your accounting degree, you are going to start from skills level. So Ican is going to exempt foundation level for all accounting graduates. So, but there is an exemption fee that you need to pay. That exemption fee is 82,000 naira. The same way you carried out the student registration process, that is the same way you are also going to carry out any other form of payment you want to make. Either you do it online or you go to any commercial bank. If you are doing it online, you need to be careful because sometimes you might have network issue and the likes. But if you are doing it online and you have network issue, you can always send a mail to Ican and Ican will respond to you. So if you are coming in with any other degree certificate aside from accounting, you will be starting from foundation level. You'll be starting from foundation level. But there are some courses that Ican also give exemption in that foundation level. So let's say, for instance, you are coming in with banking and finance, biz admin. I think biz admin in that foundation level, you are expected to write 4 papers. But if you are coming in with those degrees, you'll be exempted from 2 papers. You are going to write only 2 papers in the foundation level. But if you are coming in with other degree, you are going to write all the 4 papers in the foundation level. So once you pass that, you move to the skills level. In skills level, you also have, for those of us coming from foundation to skills, you have 6 papers to write. But if you are starting with your accounting degree, in that skills level, you write only 5 papers. Ican is going to exempt 1 paper from you. So, but if you are coming from foundation level, you are going to write 6 papers. And once you pass, you move to the professional level. Professional level has 5 papers. And once you do that, you are a qualified chartered accountant. So these are the process of becoming a student member. From a student member, if you have exemption, you pay for your exemption. Then once you pay for your exemption, you pay for the number of papers you want to write in any exam diet, and then you go and you proceed. So before I go into that, I would like to talk about the examination structure of Ican. So after doing all of this, after becoming a registered student of the institute, you have paid exemption fee. Now it is now examination fee. You pay for your examination fee, but you want to know how many papers do I need to pay for? What are the papers do we have in each of these levels? And which one should I pay for? Should I go for this one? Should I go for this one? So that is why we want to look at this examination structure and int very quickly. So what we are going to be looking at here is the structure of Ican examination, strategies to deploy during examination, and then int to pass your Ican exam. all of these things will be given to you fully. You know, we'll talk more on it during the lecture time. So, but I'm just going to talk, give us some little hint on how to pass Ican exam. So the structure of Ican exam is divided into 3 levels. The structure of Ican exam is divided into 3 levels. I've said it before: foundation, skills, and professional. Any other degree that is not accounting, you start from foundation. That's the level 1. You start from foundation. But if it is the degree in accounting, you start from skills. But there are also other qualifications that are higher than degree. For example, if you have PhD, you start from professional. If you have PhD and you want to become a chartered accountant, you start from professional. So these are the 3 levels of Ican examination. So I'll quickly talk about the foundation level. Now, in the foundation level, we have 4 papers. There are 4 papers in foundation level. We have business management and finance. We call it BMF. Then we have business law. We call it BL. We have management information system, MIS, and then we have financial accounting. These are the 4 papers that you would see in the foundation level. And each of these papers contains 2 sections in the exam. If you are writing the exam, it has 2 sections. We have section A and then section B. Section A and section B. For the section A, you have multiple choice questions. You have 20 questions consisting of what? Multiple choice answers. So, and each of those questions carries 1 mark. So that means you have 20 marks in section A. So for section B, you have 6 open-minded questions. 6 open-minded questions, which consist of essay writing or scenario-based question. And each of those questions is 20 marks each. So candidates are only expected to answer any 4 in that section. In the 6 questions you'll be given, you are only expected to answer 4 questions out of it. And each of those 4 questions is 20 marks. So altogether, when you add section A and section B together, the total mark is 100 marks. But the pass mark in any Ican exam is 50 marks. Once you pass 50, you have scaled through that course. So you only need 50 marks to pass a paper. The examination hours is 3 hours, 15 minutes. You are expected to use the 15 minutes to read your question, and then the 3 hours is to answer all other questions. Now, what are the hints? In passing the foundation level is very, very easy. Number 1, the hint is that you need to have a full grasp of each of the course that you are dealing with. You need to have a full grasp of it, meaning that you need to understand what each of those courses is all about. What are they all about? You need to understand it very well. And aside that, you study more of past questions, because one of the ways you can pass the exam is to study more of questions that has been done in previous diet. Study questions that has been done in previous diet. Study past questions, because you might be fortunate that some questions will be repeated for you. Some questions might be repeated. Some of them might be repeated, but they are going to change 1 or 2 things in that question. But you need to study more. The essence of studying past questions is such that you will know how to answer questions, because Ican will not ask you what is biology, what is account, what is this. No. Some of their question is scenario-based. Their question comes in form of case study. Their question comes in form of a case. So there is a way you answer case study based question. So once you study past questions, you are going to see how the examiner wants you to answer those questions. Once you study the way the examiner wants you to answer those questions and you put them down, you are likely going to pass that particular course. So have a full grasp of each of the course, and then study more of past questions. That is for the foundation level. Then for the skills level consists of 6 papers. You are writing 6 papers in the skills level. We have financial reporting called FR. We have audit and assurance called AA. Then we have tax, performance management, PM, corporate strategy management and ethics, that's CSME, and then public sector accounting and finance, PSAF. So these are the 6 papers that you are expected to write from the skills level. Now, if you are coming from foundation to skills, you'll be writing all these papers. You'll be writing 6 papers before you can pass that level. But if you are coming with your accounting degree, you know, accounting degree, you start from skills. If you are coming from that, you'll be writing 5 papers. Audit and assurance will be exempted for you. So you are only writing just 5 papers. And then these papers consist of 3 sections. In the exam, you only have 3 sections. So you have section A. Now that section A, there is a compulsory question that is being set. A compulsory question being set by the institute. And that compulsory question is 30 marks. So that means, you know, it is compulsory. So that means everybody must attempt that question. Then section B is an open-minded question. It consists of 3 questions. You are expected to answer 2 questions out of 3. Each of the questions in section B carries 20 marks. So when you add both of them together with section A, that is 70 marks. Then you have section C, also an open-minded question. It has 3 questions. You are also expected to write or to answer 2 out of 3. Each of the questions there is 15 marks. When you add up everything together, it is 30 marks. Please, warning, on no occasion should you go beyond what the examiner has instructed you to do. For instance, I've seen cases where a lot of students, maybe due to exam pressure or for one reason or the other, some of them answered all the questions in section B, and they did not answer anything in section C. Or some of them will answer everything in section C, then answer 1 question in section B. It is not done. If you do that, the highest mark that you got will be forfeited in any of those sections. The highest mark will be forfeited, and it's not a good place for any student to be. So always follow instruction. You must make sure you read the instruction before you attempt any question in the exam. So what are the hints? Number 1, the hint is that you need to understand key principle. You see, this skills level is like the way you do real life scenario. That's the way you attempt skills level. But you can't just attempt question here without understanding the key principle. This key principle that I'm talking about, we are going to teach you this principle. You know, a lot of people, when you ask them, oh, why did you have reference in this course? Some of them will tell you, I wrote, you know, I don't know how I failed. You just be hearing different complaints. I don't know how I failed this course. You know, I wrote a lot of things. I answered that question very well. I make sure, well, how come? They are missing something, key principle. It's not about writing a lot of things in the exam. It's not about filling your book and collecting extra sheets. It's about key principle. And if you don't know that key principle, it might be difficult for you to pass the exam. So we are going to teach you this key principle in our lecture center. All these principles in all the courses that you'll be writing will be given to you in our lecture center. And then secondly is that there are many more to this, but this is just the few hints I just want to say. Secondly is that you study past question. You can't do away without studying past question because it's very, very important. Past question is to enable you know how to answer question. And then it also helps you to see the trend for the period. You need to see the trend. Oh, Ican is not, you can't predict Ican, but you can predict them via trend. If you look at the trend analysis of question that has been set over the previous diet, it can give you an hint on where they are focusing on. And also you need to be conversant with current happenings. If you are writing professional exam, you need to know what is going on in your economy. Ican usually ask questions based on the current happening, any emerging issues in Nigeria, issues that are currently trending. Ican can ask you question on it. In fact, they are going to make that question a compulsory question. 2022, no, 2020, that was the era of COVID. Questions was asked related to that. You know, so current emerging issues, you need to be conversant with them. So if you are the type that you don't read news, you don't read newspaper, you don't know what's going on in the economy, you don't know what's going on in the business world, in politics, you don't know what's going on, please, you need to change. These are the times where you now need to start, you know, looking at each of those things. It's very, very important. You need to know what is going on in your economy. And then lastly, we move on to the professional level. So for the professional level, you have 5 papers to write. You have advanced tax, strategic financial management, corporate reporting, advanced audit and assurance, and then case study. I love case study. Now, you can see that one thing you will notice here is that everything is advanced, 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 advanced. The only thing that is different from here is case study. But you see case study is the combination of all the courses that you've been doing from foundation level down to professional level. Everything combined together is what you'll find in case study. But you see every other courses, they are all advanced. So that means if you don't understand the basic, you see that skills level that you are coming from, if you don't understand the basic, this advance will be difficult for you to grab. So advance is just Ican building on what you have done in skills level. That's why we call it advanced. So they just advance from what you were taught initially. So if you don't understand what you were taught initially, it will be difficult for you to understand certain concepts in the professional level. That is why that skills level is very, very important that you understand the basics. And the basics is what we are going to teach you in our online center. So it's very, very important. And also the paper is consist into 3 places. Compulsory question, which carries 30 marks. Open-minded question, 2 out of 3 you are expected to answer. Each of them is 20 marks. Of section C, 2 out of 3 you are expected to answer. Each of them is 15 marks. When you add everything up, it's 100 marks. You only need 50 marks to pass this exam. So once you pass this exam, automatically you are now a qualified chartered accountant. And what's the hint of passing this exam? Number 1, I've said it, you must understand the current happenings. What are the emerging issues in Nigeria currently? What are the things that we are currently tackling in Nigeria? And how are we resolving them? Number 2, it is expected that you must, maybe at your place of work, something, is either you're an accountant or you are doing something related, you must have practical exposure, because questions relating to real life scenario will be given to you, will be tested. Here, you are not dealing with multiple choice, you are dealing with real life scenario question. And then basic understanding or key principles from skills level. You know, I said it. You need that skills, that principle from skills level, you need to bring it here because it's just an advance of it. If you are very, very good at skills level, believe in me, professional level will not be something difficult. And then lastly, you pass, you study more of past questions. So these are the things that you need to know in relation to becoming a chartered accountant with the institute. So at this point, I'm going to end it here. Okay, so I still have something here. Strategies to deploy during examination. So I usually give this in to my students because as little as it is, this thing can make you fill a paper and it can also help you to pass a paper. And this is not about whether you even know what you are doing, whether you even know all the questions there. But if you can apply these do's and don'ts, I tell you, recently Ican released exam. I was discussing with one of my students that failed tax. And when I asked her, because when I saw the question, it's very cheap. The question that was set is very cheap, and all of them were taught in the class. So what happened? Then she now told me that, number one, she spent a lot of time on the compulsory question. She spent a lot of time. Question that you don't know, why are you spending a lot of time on it? Why not leave it? These are the things you need to avoid in the exam. You don't spend more than 30 minutes on a question. Once you discover that a question is giving you tough time, please avoid it. And then that student also made a mistake in attempting all the questions in section B. Like I told you, you are expected to answer 2 out of 3. The student made a mistake in attempting all the questions in that section, and that can reduce your mark. So these do's and don'ts is very, very important you know them. Number one, answer all the questions prescribed in the requirement. Please do not do anything outside the requirement. Read the examiner's instruction. If they say do this one, do this one. Don't do anything outside the requirement. If you do that, you are likely not going to pass that course. Number two, answer question you know first. Ican do not have any standard that says you must answer question 1 first. You must do question 2 next. You must do question 3 next. No. You can do compulsory question last. During my set, I did compulsory question last. It was the last thing I did. Even though you know it, I usually advise students to do it last because compulsory question is very, very technical. If students used to make this mistake, by the time they read compulsory question and then they just look at it and they say, oh, I think I know this question. This question is talking about linear curve. It's talking about linear programming. Oh, let me quickly answer it. No, settle down, calm down, because there are some hidden details in that question that you've not seen. And it's because you have not settled down. That's why you've not seen it. So compulsory question, let it be the last question you are going to ask. Make sure you attempt questions that you know first. The reason is because when you attempt questions that you know first, number one, it builds your confidence in the exam. It builds you up. It gives you that confidence that, yes, you are doing something. So no matter how cheap it is, please make sure you answer questions you know first. Then, I've said it, compulsory question, let it be the last thing. If not the last, but don't let it be the first thing you do in the exam. Because compulsory question can destabilize you. Compulsory question can destabilize you. It can make you run out of ideas. So please and please, let it be the last thing you are going to do. Make sure you do questions you know first. Then be confident. Be confident going for the exam. Do not be frightened by exam tension. Be confident. One of the things that makes students fail the exam is fear. A lot of students, before they even go to the exam, they are afraid. They are afraid of what they are going to see in the exam. Why are you afraid? Be confident, because that fear alone has done a lot of damage to you, to your system. Some people, because of fear, once they see questions, they just go blank because they don't know what to write again. Fear has eaten them up. So do not entertain fear at all. Be confident. Tell yourself that you are going to pass. You are going to pass this exam no matter how difficult it is. Then lastly, you practice more questions. 2 weeks to the exam, make sure you are practicing past questions. 2 weeks to the exam, it is assumed that you have done all your readings. And that is why in our lecture center, 2 weeks to the exam, at least 2 weeks, we are done with all our lecture. We have covered all the syllabus. So at that point, we now leave students to go and refresh, to go and read on their own. Because that 2 weeks to the exam, that's the time you now need to be doing revision. That's the time you need to look at what you've been done, what you've been taught so far. Start linking it with the past questions. Start treating past questions relating to all the topics that you have done. It's very, very important. Some students, it is 2 weeks to the exam that they want to cover all the syllabus. They will not read during when they have time. They will not read. It is when the exam is approaching that they will now be cramming and be putting themselves under pressure. We don't do that. We don't allow that here. And that is why we start our tutorial center as early as possible. You can see the result is out now, and immediately we are starting our tutorial center. So the essence is that so that we can cover all our syllabus, we can have more time to cover all the syllabus, and then students can also have more time to refresh before the exam. So 2 weeks to the exam, make sure you are practicing past question. So what are the don'ts? What are the don'ts? Number one, I told you, this is one of the things, or this is one of the reasons why one of my students failed tax. She focused too much time on a single question. Question that is not up to how many marks. You just need 50 marks. There are other questions that can give you 50 marks. Why are you staying there? Don't focus too much time on a single question. If you don't know a question, or you feel that a question is becoming challenging, leave it. Go and do the ones you know. That's why it is better you do the questions you know. That will build your confidence in attempting all other questions. And let me tell you, let me give you another logic in Ican exam. You can be very, very lucky in that some questions are linked to the other. So for instance, Ican can set 3 questions from linear programming. If you look at a particular linear programming and you don't know that question, and you move to the next one, if you understand the second question that was set on linear programming and you attempt it very well, the idea of that second question, you can use it to attempt that question that you do not know, the first one. So some questions can be an answer to the other question. That is why it is always advisable you do questions you know first. Because once you do that, you are going to relax your mind. Your mind will be relaxed. You'll be able to think properly. You will not be frightened by time or by anything. Then lastly, I've said it, do not leave any question unanswered. If this is not your school exam, that when they ask you, in school then, if you do not know some question, you just leave it and go and submit. Or you just write something and then you just go and submit. No, please, in this exam, do not leave any question unanswered. Put down something, because 1 mark can make you pass. I've seen people that pass with 50 marks. I've seen people that scale through the exam with 50 marks. Do you know that if such a student did not attempt any question, he or she would have missed a mark for that? And 49 is not pass mark. Ican will not pity you and add 1 for you. I've seen students who failed with 49, 48. 1 mark they will never give you. But if you write down something, even when you don't know it, put down your ideas. Put down something. It is better than leaving it without answering it, because writing something down, you might get 1 or 2. At least if you are making sense, you might get 1 or 2. So do not leave any question unanswered before submission. So I've come to the end of this presentation, and so I would like to entertain questions. So if you have any question now, I would unmute everyone so that you can unmute yourself. Just raise up your hand if you have question, or you can drop them in the chat box. If you have question, you can raise your hand. I will call you, and then you ask your question. You can ask any question relating to the course, relating to Ican, anything you want to know before we call it a day. So just raise up your hand. If I see your hand, I'm going to call you. Or you drop your question in the chat box, whichever one that is convenient for you. So question time, please. Any question from anyone? Please ask your question. If you have question, you can ask your question. I'm going to entertain questions. Please ask questions so that you'll not be sending me message. I used to receive a lot of message. oh, how do I do this? How do I do this? That's the essence of this section. So that if you have any question that is bothering you, anything you are not clear about, you can ask them now. You can raise your hand and I will call you. You can unmute yourself and talk if you want, if you have any question. Questions from anyone? Very quickly before we call it a day. We are done. It's just to entertain questions. Okay, I can see a question here. Okay, from Abigail, she said, "Good evening, sir. Thank you so much. You have been doing an amazing job." Thank you so much, Abigail. Thank you for that. Okay, from Tina, she said, "Thank you, sir. Please, how many lecture batches do you have per diet?" How many lecture batches do you have per diet? So we have for foundation, we have for skills, we have for professional. Those are the 3 lecture batches that we have per diet. Do we have physical class? No, we don't have physical class. All our classes are online and they are all practical. All our classes are practical. We solve questions online. We treat even performance management. All of those questions, they are all online. If you want to check on our videos, you can go to our YouTube channel. You see courses that we've done previously. You can see how we treat questions. All our classes are 100% practical. So that is that. We do online. So because we understand the challenge, even in Nigeria today, in Lagos, wherever you are, you understand the challenge of, you know, transportation and all of that, the stress and all of that. With our online class, you can be at your place of convenience and you attend lecture. You know, what we just require from you is your 100% focus, commitment to class, and you study, because there is no secret to success without studying. Forget, if you attend physical class today from now till tomorrow, if you do not study, you are likely not going to pass, except the grace of God covers you. Do you get? So, but anywhere you find yourself, we challenge our students. Not only that, we give student assignments and we demand that such students should submit their assignments. That's part of our own demanding, you know. So it's very, very important that you do all of these things. And another beautiful thing about our online class is that you get recorded videos. You cannot get this in any physical class, because in a physical class, if you do not attend a question or a class, that is all. You can only collect notes from your colleagues. But here we have recorded videos such that you can download them offline and watch them at your convenience. And if you've forgotten 1 or 2 things, you can also go back to it. So it's very, very important, and our classes are affordable. So that is that. So from Toib, I can see a question from Toib. He says, "Thank you very much, sir. It was indeed great presentation. I want to ask, what are the benefits of registering with Eli Tutorial aside from recorded videos in terms of material to a particular course?" Yes, all the topics that we treat, we have materials for them. We send our materials before the next class. So let's say, for instance, our class is starting next week. Students that have registered now, we have already grouped them into their different classes. So the topic we are going to treat next week, the materials has been sent to them. So aside from the recorded video you are going to get, you're also going to get material for each of the topics that we are treating. You get materials for each of the topics that we are treating. And our materials are very, very easy to understand. There are some courses. The reason why some students used to fail a course is that you don't need some of the materials that you are using. There are some courses based on expertise. We know the material you need. There are some courses that you just need only Ican pack to pass. Don't disturb yourself with too many materials. There are some courses that we recommend other materials for you to get. There are some courses who also give you our own material. You just need that to pass. For instance, somebody doing CSME, audit, You don't need extra material. Ican material is enough for you to pass those courses. But if you are doing performance management, we'll give you additional material for you to read along, because we know that Ican Park might not be explanatory enough. So we give you additional material to assist you in doing justice to those topics. So we give materials, and our materials are sent ahead of time before the lecture, so that you can go through them, have an understanding of what we want to do next week, so that you can also prepare your mind that this is what you would expect in class. I hope that answers Toib questions. Okay, Tina said, can you unmute me? Yes, Tina, you are unmuted. You can unmute yourself and speak if you have questions. You can unmute yourself and speak. Are you there, Tina? You can unmute yourself if you want to.
All right. Okay, it's on mute now. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I want to really appreciate you. Thank you so much for this training. Now, my question is that I want to know, for me, is it advisable for me to start lectures now when I've not yet registered with Ican, because I'm trying to see if I can get exemption. So for now, I don't really know what course in particular I'm going to be exempt from for.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Yes, it is very, very.
Okay.
Are you there? Okay, okay. You
Yes,
still have,
that's my first question. Yes, I still have another question. Then
okay,
I
go
also
ahead.
sent a question. Yes, I want to explain what I meant by the batches. I don't know. How many times do you take classes per diet? That's what I meant. I want to know if you have like first batch and second batch per diet. For someone like me that don't know the course that I'm taking yet. So if I'm not able to register for the first batch, I can take the second batch for this diet. That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, okay, I get your question now. Okay, so let me go back to my presentation. Let me show you something. Let me start with your first question. So for your first question, it is advisable you start your lecture immediately. Whether you are still waiting for exemption, you are not yet registered as a student, start your lecture immediately, because you already have your mind that you are going to write the exam in November. So along the line, all of those things will be sorted, because the exemption that you are saying, we already know the exemption you will get. If you tell us your qualification, if you tell us your degree, we'll know the exemptions and the number of papers that are available for you to write. So we can advise you, this is the number of papers that you are going to write. This is the exemption you get. So out of all these papers now, which one do you now want to register for? So it is now left for you to select which of the papers you want to register for, or you want to do all of them, and then you start the class immediately. Because if you wait, yes, that's why we have recorded videos, right? If you wait and then maybe 2 months after you now decide to join, very good. The recorded video from when we start the class till when you join, and also till we finish this diet, will be given to you. You can go back and watch them. But you can also start with us and be attending class. The decision you just need to make is for you to be sure that you want to do November diet. Every other thing will be sorted along the line. So it is advisable, just start. You tell us your degree, you tell us your qualification. If it is to register you, because we also do registration for students, we carry out student registration, exemption, induction, examination, any process you want to do at all, we can help you to do them. If you want us to handle it for you, we'll handle it. If you want to handle it yourself, and that is part of what I've said in my presentation, how you can handle it yourself. But if you are busy and you need somebody to assist you with that, you can reach out to us also. We'll do that for you. So if you need somebody that will help you to register as a student, reach out to us. Within 3 weeks, you get your student registration number. Within 3 weeks, your dashboard will be created. Within 1 month, we are done with all of these things. And then you see the papers that you want to write, and then you select. And we would have told you ahead of time that these are the papers you write. It doesn't change. So I will advise you start your lecture with us. It's very important when you start the class with your other students. Then secondly, we only have one batch in the diet. We only have one batch in the diet, and our lecture runs at least a maximum of 4 months in that batch. So we are starting July, August, September, October. The exam is coming up in November, middle of November. So we are likely going to round up our section in October ending. October ending is the most. So we all tutors know that we have 4 months to complete all our syllabus. And that is why we start as early as possible so that we can cover the syllabus. So we have only one batch. So what we do for students that didn't join with us is the recorded video. If you want to join, we have students that 2 weeks to the exam, they come to pay for the recorded video and materials. Materials, the recorded video will be given to them and they will use it to read. So we have only one batch, but if you are joining us any other time, materials will be added to the class where you meet other colleagues, and then the recorded video would also be sent to you. I don't know if that answers your question, Tina.
Yes, thank you, sir.
All right. Any other question from anyone? I can see some questions in the chat box. If you have questions, you can unmute. But before then, let me read this question in the chat box that says from Emire. She said that, please, under skills, is there no audit? Yes, there is audit for skills. I said that there is audit for skills. In skills paper, you are writing 6 papers. Audit is one of them. But I said something. I said, if you are coming with accounting degree, audit will be exempted for you. So out of 6 papers, by the time they remove audit for you, you'll be writing only 5. But for those of us that are coming from foundation level, if you pass all the papers in foundation, you'll be moved to skills. When you get to skills, no paper will be exempted for you. You are going to write all the 6 papers in skills. So there is audit in skills, but it's just that accounting students do not usually write audit exam because it has been exempted for them. Okay, in my timetable. Okay, so that timetable is tentative. You know, so most times for skills level, most of the people writing the exam, they are students.
She's serious.
So most students you will see in skills level, they are students coming in with accounting degree. You know, so if we don't have students who is writing audit, there is no point putting audit on the timetable. We either use that period for audit to accommodate another course so that we can have more time to take some of those courses. So that is why if you see that timetable, there is no audit there because currently no students, all the students registering for skills are coming in with their accounting degree. So if we have students coming in from foundation and they are doing audit, they want to do the 6 paper and audit is part of it, definitely audit will be included on the timetable. That's why the timetable is tentative. You know, and it also depends on the courses that students are registering. So if we don't have students registering for PSAF and PSAF is on the timetable and nothing is being done there, the lecturer would take a course that students have registered and put it in place of PSAF so that we can cover more of those courses. So it's tentative, but along the line, once we now know the number of students that have registered for each of these courses, and we know that, okay, CSME, nobody is doing it, audit, nobody is doing it, in place of them on the timetable, we'll put in the courses that have been registered so that we can have more time to quickly cover the syllabus. That's how we do it. So, but audit is on the timetable. Okay, Adewale said, okay. Adewale, okay, I just joined not quite long. Oh, so sorry about that. Then from from Bolaji, he said, good evening, sir. Thanks so much for the presentation. How about Ican subscription? Because I registered since last year, but yet to pay for the exemption fee. So am I paying subscription with exemption fee? Yes, you are paying subscription. So your subscription fee is every year. Your subscription fee is like an annual fee that you pay. So Ican has made it compulsory in that before you do anything on the platform, you must have paid for your subscription. So if you paid for last year and you did not register, and you now want to now complete the registration this year's subscription would have added to it on your portal. So that means you need to pay this year's subscription plus the exemption before you can now write the exam. So your subscription is very, very important. Whether you like it or not, whether you pay subscription now or till when you want to write the exam, it will be accumulating for you. Every year is for 4,000 naira. If you do not do the exam, maybe you've registered and 5 years time is now when you now want to write the exam. Subscription for 5 years would have accumulated on your portal. So that means 4 times 5, 20,000. So you'll be paying 20,000 naira subscription before you can proceed to write the exam. So it's an annual fee that every student must pay to all associations. So that's how it works. Okay, Tina said, is it advisable to start when I've not registered with Ican yet because I don't know which paper I will be exempted for? I think I've answered this question. That's what Tina asked when she unmuted. Yeah. Okay, from Y21, she said, good afternoon, sir. So sorry, I just joined now. Please, I would like to know the process of registration. I'm an accounting graduate from an accredited institution. I wish to start my Ican anticipation. My Ican journey. Thanks in anticipation. Okay. You just joined. I've explained that during my presentation, but I'll just do a brief recap. It's very simple. Since you are coming in with an accounting degree from an accredited institute, that means you'll be starting from skills level. So the first thing is you register as a student member, and the amount to pay for student registration is 10,000 naira plus bank charges 400. That's 10,400. So you can either pay it online via the online platform, or you go to any commercial bank. The online platform, most of the time or sometimes, you might encounter some network glitch, but via commercial bank is very straightforward. Just go to any commercial bank in Nigeria, tell them you want to pay for Ican student registration, fill in your name, and then fill in your phone number, and then give it to the teller. The teller is going to process it and give you an e-transact receipt. On that e-transact receipt, you will see a website on it. Go to your laptop, put that website on your laptop or your smartphone. It's going to ask you to submit your deposit slip. That's the slip you use in making that payment at the bank. You submit your deposit slip. On that e-transact form, you are going to see a receipt number there. You put in the receipt number, then you put in the serial number, then you submit. Once you submit and everything is fine, a registration portal will now be given to you. So on that registration portal, you now fill your information, then you upload your documents. So the necessary document to be uploaded is your BSc certificate or your higher national diploma, HND, your WAEC results, your NYSC results, and your birth certificate. These are the major documents to upload. So once you upload this and you submit, it takes 2 to 3 weeks before Ican will get back to you. If your verification is fine, a student registration number will be sent to you via email address. And that is how you register. So if you want to also register for any other thing, the same process that you did in registering for the student membership, that's the same process you register. If you want to pay for exemption, just go to the bank, fill the teller, put the amount there, put your registration number, and give it to the teller. They will process it, give you the interest act, go to the website, fill in the information. That is all. For your examination, same process. This is how you carry out the process. But if you don't have time and you want somebody else to do it for you, at Elite Accounting Professional Service, we also carry out these services for students. So if you want to process your student registration, exemption fee, subscription, induction, examination, you can reach out to us and we'll take up the process for you. So that's how you go about it. I hope that answers your question, why to what? Yeah, so from Adewale, he said, please, I want to know, will new syllabus take effect this November diet? How will it affect the professional level? As of today, new syllabus has not been unveiled by Ican. The new syllabus has not been unveiled by Ican. So that means, you know, we have an association, or tutorial center. We have an association where Ican used to communicate to us. So if there is any changes to the current syllabus, it will be sent to all tutorial centers so that we can imbibe it in our lecture process. So, but as of today, the new syllabus has not been communicated to us, and all tutorial centers are likely going to start lectures next month. So that means most likely it will not take effect in November diet. It might likely take effect next year. So, but if there is no communication from Ican, no new syllabus. It is until Ican release a circular concerning it, that is when tutorial centers and students can abide to the new syllabus. But as of today, no communication has been passed by Ican. So definitely the current syllabus is what we are still using to for November diet until otherwise stated by Ican. So please, there is no new syllabus now. Don't disturb yourself. Good evening, and thank you very much. I have a question. Okay, Miriam, go ahead with your question. Okay, I think I've answered this question from Bolaji. How about subscription? I think I've answered that. Please join in list. Okay, the recording of this section will be available on our YouTube channel. So if you're on our platform, it will be sent to the platform. But if you are not on our platform, you can reach out to me. I will add you to our platform. The YouTube, the video recorded of this section will be sent to our YouTube channel. So you can always go to our YouTube channel to watch it over again if there is anything you do not understand. So do you mean you release recorded lectures without restriction to student videos? Recorded lectures is for registered students. Students who have registered to attend lectures with us. Those are the students we give recorded lectures. Every other person cannot access our recorded lecture because our recorded lecture is restricted to each student per person. There's a way we have already configured it that no other person can have access to our recorded lecture. Only registered students can access our videos. So I hope that answers Adewale's question. Okay, Eniola said, thank you so much, sir. I'll reach out to you. Yes, you can reach out to me. This is my number on WhatsApp. If you want to reach out to me on WhatsApp, this is my number. I've shared it on the group chat. If you are not on our WhatsApp platform, you can reach out to me so that I will add you to our WhatsApp platform. And very quickly before we go, apart from Ican lectures, we also do accounting trainings for students. For professionals who are interested in practical accounting trainings, we carry out these trainings at Elite Accounting Professionals. So these trainings, some of them are paid, some of them are not paid training. So I would advise you, and I would say that if you are not on our platform, please do well to join our WhatsApp platform and social media platform. We are on LinkedIn, we are on WhatsApp, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook. So do well to join us on each of these platforms, because if we have any new update, you'll be the first person to know about any update relating to the profession. So I think at this point, there is no more other question. I'm not seeing any hands raised, and I'm not seeing any more question in the chat box. So I would like to, okay, what's Adewale, you said regarding this, I didn't get your response. So I said that our recorded videos are only available. The recorded materials, the recorded videos are only available to registered students. Students who have registered with the institute to undertake Ican lectures. Those are the students we give access to our recorded video. If you are not a student of Elite Accounting Professionals, you cannot get a recorded video because we have restricted it to 1 student per person. So no other person can have access to it. It is configured to an email. No other person can have access to it. So not everybody can have access to it except you registered with the institute. So I hope that answers your question, Adewale. So at this junction, I don't know if there's any question. If there's no other question, it's okay. I can see a question from Y21 that says, I still have more questions. Please, sir, out of the 5 paper under skills, how much are we likely going to pay? We are students. We students write the paper at once. So currently speaking, the price per paper, Ican has not released a new price. A new price or the price for this diet will be released when the advert for November diet is released by the institute. But as we speak, we can assume that the price of May diet would also be the price for November diet, except otherwise stated, except the institute has increased their prices. But I doubt, but you can check May diet advert, you will see the price of each paper there. And then students are not mandated to do all the papers. You can write the exam at your own pace. If you want to do 1 paper, you do 1 paper. You want to do 2 paper, you do 2 paper. 3 paper, you do 3 paper. If you want to break it down, you break it down. But it's just that the more you break it down, the longer the time you become a chartered accountant. If you break it down, it will take you more years to complete it than somebody who is taking all the paper at once, somebody who is doing 4, who is doing 3, who is doing all of them. Such a person can complete it. If they pass their paper, they can complete it within the space of 1.5 years. But if you are breaking it down, you might likely take 4 or 5 years before you complete such a paper. So there is implication for, you wanting to write. Okay, so what is the cost of Elite lecture paper? Yes, so just reach out to me on WhatsApp. I'm going to share it to you, and then we'll also share it on our WhatsApp group chat. So you will see the lecture fee is very affordable. It's something that, in fact, a lot of students used to tell us that, this your price is very small. Are you not going to increase it? I tell students, we are an institute established to give value to people. We are not really after the money. We are rather after values. We want to ensure that students, we celebrate when we see students qualify. We celebrate when we see students pass their paper. So we know, we ourselves, we know, even with the current economy, we know that the price of what we are charging is far, far below what others are charging. But like I said, the values, we are much more interested in giving out values to students rather than money. So it is very, very affordable for anyone to share. So just reach out to me on WhatsApp. If you're on our WhatsApp platform, it will be shared. You are going to see the price list, and then you can now pick the one you want to do. So let me drop my WhatsApp group chat here. This is the link. This is the link for the WhatsApp group chat. If you are not there, you can click on the link to join our WhatsApp group chat. And also, this is my number. You can always reach out to me on WhatsApp for further inquiry about online lectures. So I want to believe we have all gotten values from today's section. I want to appreciate everyone. Thank you for joining today's section. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. It's been a wonderful time together. And don't forget, if you are planning to join us for lecture for November diet, please ensure you do so now, because we are starting our lectures next week. And then if you want to also join us even after next week, you can also join Elite Accounting Professionals. Thank you very much, everyone. Let's have a beautiful weekend. Bye for now.